Neutral. It is Lucia. Okay. It's ice? Ooh. Alrighty, let's take a look at Lucia's new featured weapon. I assume the premium banner is going to be the same thing. Yeah, it's just 4 guaranteed 5 stars, 2 guaranteed copies in an outfit. As always, let's check out the aesthetics, which, big fan of the purple. I like the purple. I actually wish there was a little bit more of the purple. It's kind of like hints and flashes of it instead of it being kind of a feature. This is what I was saying about with the Glenn outfit last week, where they actually did a really great job managing the neutral colors, because they did a great job of like blending all of the neutral colors together, and then the red really helped it pop. The purple's doing the same thing too, and I do like this outfit overall. I wish there was a little bit more. It is very Mad Max, that's true. That's true. I just wish there was a little bit more. Like a little bit more purple would make me very happy. But otherwise, it's great. It's a good outfit. I love it. Mask is cool. The gloves are cool. I love the gloves. The Desperado rifle looks cool. I love the little purple on the scope too. Looks sick. Oh yeah, the little paw print for the little dog. That's so cute. That's cute. Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. Let's check out the Desperado rifle. Okay, it does 430 physical ice damage, all enemies, physical defense down, ice damage increased, all allies, low to mid. OB6 goes to 670 in an area of effect. That's pretty high for an AoE. Physical defense goes mid to high. Ice damage goes mid to high at OB6. OB10, they stay at mid to high. Max damage is 780 with a 717 physical attack. 46 physical attack and 56 ice potency. This is a great weapon. This is a great weapon. But yeah, then this is in the featured pool. Oh, and it has the sigil boost 2 thing, dude. Oh my God. And this is a featured weapon? Dude, this is crazy. This is really good. But like increasing your entire team's ice damage, decreasing the entire enemy team's physical defense, 780% in an AoE is really good. She also has a weapon in her kit that allows her to lower the enemy's ice resistance in Bald Eagle that she can use as an offhand weapon. And that would max out her physical attack and get her ice potency to a level 8 break with just those 2 weapons alone, which allows her then to just go all in on physical ability potency and supportive weapons in the sub weapon slots. This is great. This is a great weapon. I've got no notes, man. This is good. This is really, really good. I have no issue with this weapon at all. It's very good. Very, very strong. Ice damage, all allies is great. Currently, the 2 weapons that exist for ice damage increase in the game are Aerith's Citric Wand and Sid's Scimitar. But Sid is not very good outside of the you know, unless you have his Rocket Lance in an OB6 plus, which some folks do, most folks don't. Lucia actually has the ability to do physical defense down, ice damage up for your entire team, and ice resist down, which is very, very solid. So yeah, really, really good. Really, really good. Damage is still fine in an area of effect, especially for an AoE attack. Yeah, damage is fine. And because she gets 56 ice potency on this weapon in her main hand, this lets her hit high damage figures without taking away good sub weapons from your damage dealers, right? So it allows her to be a damage dealing support. And then Sigil Boost 2 slot gives you +4 to the Sigil break phase instead of +2. So instead of it being a 5 break, it ends up being a 7 break, I think is what the total ends up being. But yeah, really solid. This is a really good weapon. Considering that a weapon very similar to this, instead of having physical defense down, it had Enfeeble. Considering that was a limited weapon for fire, I mean, I don't have to tell you how strong this is. It's very, very good, right? And especially because Tifa has the ability to do that Enfeeble herself, right? And she has an ice weapon that can pair well with this. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Outfit is Desperado Chic. Does ice potency all allies. Good lord. And this is going to be an Arcanum, huh? No, it's not. When granting physical defense down +1 tier. Man. Aww. Boo. Listen, of the ones that we've seen so far, this is actually really good. Obviously, I mentioned before, and I'll say it again, whenever an enemy is resistant to that effect, that means that the second R ability is just dead in the water. And I hate that, right? I hate when you have to invest into an outfit by spending resources to get there, and then there are just stages where this is just not useful, and that sucks. because it makes it really hard to recommend it, right? This is really good. 15% bonus damage to your entire team's ice damage is great. And if you pair this with Sephiroth's ice damage outfit, that's an extra 30% damage that you're giving your entire team, meaning that ice damage is getting ridiculously high cap. Like, ice damage was already one of the best elements in the game, and it just continues to improve. But this secondary ability, when you can inflict the physical defense down, it's fantastic, right? Because Lucia is inflicting it in an area of effect as well. And because it's mid to high, you were casting it twice anyways, and it's her main DPS option regardless. So she was going to be using this multiple times anyways. And you can get that -4 defense down while also having Tifa inflict enfeeble, meaning that it's essentially a -5 physical defense, which is a massive debuff. This will be the way that people maximize their battle ranking this week, because the battle ranking is an Ice Week stage. I would expect, if you don't have this, I would expect you to just go into it expecting not to do well. Expect yourself not to do well, because that is a massive difference in damage. Massive, right? Because it's not just going to be -1, it's going to end up being -2 with the enfeeble, and that's way too much of a DPS difference when it comes to just like lowering the enemy's defense and your overall DPS. So your one hit damage is just not going to be as strong as people who pull for this outfit. That said, like I said, I do not care for these abilities very much. I think that they're way too niche-y. And when it comes to spending our very limited resources, because again, we just got done spending a whole bunch of resources last month. When it comes to spending your very limited resources, you have to compare this banner to the limit break banners that are out right now, to Glenn's featured outfit that's out right now. And when you compare all of them combined, it makes it very difficult to recommend pulling for this. Even though this is solid, it's still very good. And I do like that these are both offensive R abilities that pair together. It's fine, right? It's fine. I wish this was an Arcanum, honestly, because I feel like they could have given her the 50% ice damage, and instead of giving like defensive or the HP, they could have just threw this on, right? And maybe I'm in the minority here, where I like look down on this effect in general, which again, the defense down ones, this was in particular, I value way higher than the other ones personally, because this increases your overall DPS, right? The ones that decrease their physical attack by an extra tier, like stuff like that, I don't care about that, right? I just don't. At the end of the day, if they're doing that much damage, that extra -1 is usually not going to make or break your attempt, in my opinion, at least from my experience in the game, right? Defense down is a little bit different. I do value this a little bit higher, but we're talking like, if I think the other ability effect is like a C, I think this is like a B. I don't actually do letter grades and stuff, but like that's where my brain is at, to put it in perspective. I don't think that this is so much better that I would like pull for this over if it had an Arcanum, right? If this was an Arcanum, I would say that it's probably an auto pull if you don't have a good ice support, just because it's, you know, it's adding an extra 50% damage to an already very good area of effect ice attack, and with really good ice R abilities, like, and she has good supporting ice weapons in her kit to be able to build around it. I'm actually really disappointed that this isn't an Arcanum. I'm really disappointed that this isn't an Arcanum. But it's definitely solid. It's not bad. It's still pretty good, but it's definitely not what I was hoping for. And yeah, that is what it is. In terms of the wish list, this one's going to be pretty cut and dry. The offhand weapon for Lucia for this, for me personally, would just be Bald Eagle. Bald Eagle is a physical attack and ice potency sub weapon that I've been using first as a sub weapon for the 62 boost attack. But it does lower ice resistance, and it's been in the game for, God, almost 2 years at this point. But if you put this in her offhand, it's not only going to get her ice potency up to that level 8 break, which is where we like to have it, it's going to finish off the rest of her physical attack as well, meaning that you can then focus on the backhand on the sub weapon slots for just physical ability potency, right? So we'd be doing, this would be our first weapon, and then we'd be looking for physical ability potency. The two weapons that I prefer to use, one is also in Lucia's kit. It's called Mad Minute. This one goes up to 56 points of physical ability potency and gives some HP, which, considering this outfit does not have any defensive R abilities included, this is something that the extra HP is actually kind of helpful, right? Because we're not going to get any defensive effects from this outfit, and Lucia is not a primary damage dealer. She's a support in this game. So as a result, you want to make sure that you're building up some of those other stats that she wouldn't otherwise have, and she's not going to have the damage dealing that the other characters have either, right? So I would include this on the wish list as well. The other weapon that I would include is one that I always include for our physical ability weapons. So you're already done with physical ability potency. So then that leaves you kind of wondering, well, what do I do next? So the next thing you could do a couple of things here. You could continue getting the rest of your boost attack and then find a boost attack weapon that is also in boost ice. And there are a couple of good options, but the one that I would probably recommend, considering this is a physical weapon, is the enhanced sword. The enhanced sword gives some boost attack and gives some more ice potency. And if I have my calculations right, let me do this really quickly. You would have to get OB10 of the new Desperado rifle, but it would be 56 plus 20, well, yeah, 21, right? And then that's 77, and then this one would give an extra 21. That would be 98. So it would only get you up to the level 9 break. It wouldn't get you up to the level 10 break. It'd be just short of the level 10 break, which is a little awkward, obviously, which gets you from the level 8 break at 100% all the way. Oh, it's only a 10% increase, right? So that's actually not as good as I was hoping it would be. So that's why I usually stop at the level 9 break, unless you can like perfectly get it up to the level 10 break and get that extra 20% damage. It makes it pretty tough to put another ice potency weapon on. And so as a result, I would actually look at ability potency. Great option for this would be Mystic Sword. That 21 points gives her an extra 15% damage, which is 5% more. And then you would also be getting 31 points of attack with the 16 points that you're already getting from, well, it would be 15 from Barrett's weapon. So you get that extra 30 points plus the 15. That gets you up to the level 5 break instead of the level 3 break, which is an extra 8% damage or 8% attack, which is awesome. And this is a good option as well. Plus, Mystic Sword is just a good weapon in general, right? And if you don't want to do one of the ability potency weapons like that, you could also look at the attack all allies and ability potency weapons. Those are all available in the limit breaks so right now. So if you're looking at things like the Tifa gloves is one of them, right? This gives attack all allies and also gives that ability potency as well. This is also an option, right? If you put this on the offhand at level 120, this is also giving you an extra 7%. The extra attack that you would get from an OB10 Mystic Sword is higher than this, but this 7% also goes to your friends as well, where the boost attack option does not. So I would recommend just throwing this on as her last sub weapon, or a physical attack all allies weapon is also an option, right? But one of those two, whichever one you want to do, I just like this one because it gives ability potency, and that's something that we can actually utilize in Lucia's kit. But it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, whichever one works best for you. I'm sure there's going to be a more efficient way to do it, but for me personally, I think I would just do one of the attack and ability potency all allies. But yeah, it's definitely solid. Like it's a good outfit. It's a good weapon. The outfit is just not good enough to me. It's obviously going to be very, very good for today's battle ranking event. It's going to be very good in that event. I assume it's not going to be immune to physical defense down, which means we'll be able to utilize that really well in the battle ranking event. And then obviously going forward, being able to get -4 physical defense is very, very good. And Ice has a lot of really good supportive effects to be able to utilize that -4 physical defense in a massive way, right? So for me personally, like, if you told me you wanted to pull on this, I wouldn't blame you. I do have to remind folks that there are not one, but 2 collaborations coming up in November and December with Final Fantasy 13 and the Nier collab, right? And so both of those collaborations will be limited. And with the collaborations that are outside of Final Fantasy, we have not seen them rerun, right? So the Monster Hunter banner never reran, right? We've seen them do like in-game like Final Fantasy collab stuff, and Nier is a Square Enix IP, so maybe we'll be able to see that rerun. But those events typically don't come back, and so for me personally, it has to be the best thing I've seen in a long time for me to pull on a banner right now. So I'm gonna chill on this, no pun intended. I'm excited about the weapon being added to the pool. And once this weapon is added, I will be wishlisting this on every single banner moving forward because I want the weapon badly. And I love using Lucia. Lucia is one of my favorite characters in this game. So I am, again, I wish if it was an Arcanum, you probably would have seen me pull tonight. I'll be totally honest with you. If it was an Arcanum, I probably would have pulled, but I just can't justify it.